they're going on to a lot more feed than what they were on. So you can see this is a weather lamb, but he hasn't got any horns. They're just hard doers. That's just the type of sheep they are, unfortunately. They're bred to grow wool, not meat. Yeah, when they're lambs like that, you just still need to give them good source of nutrition. Yeah, it's not a good sign, those. Good morning, everyone. What's going on this morning? I'm just coming out to muster these Merino lambs. There's some weather and ewe lambs in here. I'm gonna draft them up and we're gonna take them down to the other place. So they sort of want to get them off this home place here this morning, just because they're just running out of feed in this paddock, and I don't really, well, I do have, but I don't really want to put them in any other paddocks here for the minute. We're trying to keep a few clean and sort of saving a few for lambing if we can. So there's plenty of room down another block, so we'll take, I think there's about 140 here. We'll draft them up and we'll put the wethers in one paddock with some weather hoggets, Merino weather hoggets, and then we'll put the ewes in a different paddock. So morning, girls. What are you doing? It is gonna be a cracking day. It's been a bit chilly this morning, but yeah, it's about 7:15 now and the sun's just starting to get a bit of kick in it. Here, push him up. Sit down, Lenny, steady, steady. Go back here. So they're not looking too bad, so I'm gonna give them a drench before they go down there. I'll just see whether they are due for a 6-in-1 or not. But no, they are looking pretty good. They've been on a reasonable paddock, like, you know, improved country. So, but they're going on to a lot more feed than what they were on. So they'll kick along nicely. There's one there that looks like it got a shear. So don't know what happened there, but I'll have to shear that one. So we have started using a poly ram. So you'll notice there's not too many that have still got horns. It'll take a while to get it out of them, but we are sort of trying to switch over to poly rams, purely because horns are just a pain in the ass. There's just no point in having them, really. So pain in the ass to shear and handle. So the sun's just poking up over the shed there. I'll just leave them in the sun for half an hour and empty out a little bit, and then I'll run them through the handler, I think, and that'll be the quickest. And probably draft them as I'm going. Probably that might be an idea. Just go feed some stud ewes. Sit. Sit. Rightio, so as you can see, I just put the 3-way draft on the front here. If you haven't seen it all, it is just a little control here that just basically drafts them. So I'll just draft the wethers one way and the ewes straight out the front here. I'm going to give them, I'll give them a Q drench, which is a 4-way, 4-active drench. So 4 active ingredients. It's just we're always rotating our drenches, obviously, to try and limit that chance of resistance or build up of resistance in the worms. You're always going to get it, but by rotating drenches all the time, you're sort of killing all the ones, hopefully, that, and using different actives, you're hopefully killing all the ones that are resistant to one active and then killing them with the next drench. So yeah, it's all part of IPM, I guess you'd say, integrated pest management, to a degree. It's all chemical, I guess, but that combined with paddock rotations and putting sheep on clean paddocks like these ones are going on to, it's a constant battle against worms. That's, yeah, you're always going to have them, so it's just about managing them. Oh yeah, let's drench some lambs. Come on then. Sit down. Here, Max. Hey. He's not good. Hey. Go back to me. So you can see this is a weather lamb, but he hasn't got any horns, so there's a fair few of them like that. The polies coming through them, which is good. We'll still have a horny ram for a few years, but we are definitely making the switch to these are sort of soft rolling merinos. They're not weighing too badly. They're merino lambs at the end of the day, so they're not doing anything extraordinary. That's just the way they are. Hey fellas. So yeah, I'm getting into the habit of laying the sheep, just so you can give them a more accurate drench. Like generally you drench the heaviest sheep, but with these new scales, I do enjoy using them and just seeing what the whole mob's doing. Eventually we'll probably start putting electronic tags in our merino ewes. We don't have many at home here, but just being a bit more selective for our, because we breed some self-replacing merino ewes, and then we also breed a few of our own first cross ewes as well. So if we put electronic tags in their ears, we can just be a bit more selective with it. Wool class them a bit more, and like this one shouldn't be kept really. By the look of her fleece, just a wrinkly sort of bad doing merino. Alrighty, we'll just give them a quick count, and I'll just make sure there's no ewes in here, or do my best to see if there's, make sure there's no ewes. And I'll shear those couple of woolly ones. Yeah, you can see some of them got fairly long horns. They were marked a bit late, some of them. Bet you the weather doesn't cheer that good. He wasn't too bad actually, he was nearly better than the ewe. This soft roll's a bit different. Dad picked up a few new shearing plants the other day. I don't know whether they're any good, but these ones are fairly old, and it'd be incredible to know how many sheep these ones have shorn. I wouldn't really have any idea. You'd have to, don't know whether grandfather bought them brand new or not, but they've certainly shorn a hell of a lot of sheep. Same with this little shed. Gets a hell of a lot of sheep put through it every year. Alright, just gonna go down and make sure all the gates and everything's right down at this block where these sheep are going. And yeah, because when I take the truck down there, I won't be able to go through the paddocks. Here, get up. Alrighty, so I've just come out to the peloton here. I'm just gonna, on my way down to check these paddocks, I'm just gonna put a little bit of grain out with these fellas, because you can see they're getting through the crop fairly well. And so if I start giving them a bit of grain just on the side, it'll make it go a lot further. So these fellas know what it is. They're starting to come over to me now, and I'll dribble a bit out down the bottom here, and yeah, keep them going a bit. You can see there's still plenty here. It's just want to get onto it and start and just help the crop grow a bit before it does get too late. But you can see they're still growing pretty rapidly underneath here, all the new leaves coming through, which it's pretty cool to see. They seem to be loving it. No, they're eating most of it. Obviously these big sort of stalks, they're sort of leaving a bit, but that's pretty common. I wouldn't expect them to eat that anyway. Hey Lynn. Alright, so I'll count the wethers and the ewes, and should be about 136 all up, I think, or 140. At least that's what my count says. They're just going on opposite sides of the road, so they're right next to each other. Push them up, go back. Rightio, so you can see it's got pretty good short pick in here for lambs. Oh, it's a bit light in this corner, but you can see it thickens up out there. And for lambs, you do want short feed for them. You don't want them in long grass. They just don't do. Especially merino lambs. Merino lambs are probably the most difficult sheep to try and grow out. They don't want to eat a lot. They don't have a big appetite, and they're just hard doers. That's just the type of sheep they are. Unfortunately, they're bred to grow wool, not meat, so they don't have to eat a lot. But it's both a curse and a blessing in a drought. You know, obviously merinos are pretty easy to maintain, to keep a maintenance ration up to them. But then when you do want them to perform when they're lambs like this, it's just gets a bit hard sometimes. You can see all the amount of clover in here. This paddock's about 27 hectares, I think, or 26 hectares. So there's 73 ewe lambs going on this paddock. So you know it's going to really get ahead of them. And you know, when it does really get going, we'll probably put some more sheep on here. 73 lambs not gonna hold this paddock back much, especially it's been cropped a couple of times and it's got a reasonable fertiliser history. There's the wethers in there. It's a pretty good paddock. I've improved Phalaris pasture in there, so no, they'll go all right in there. They'll poke away, doing their thing. Their older brothers, I guess you'd say, are in there too with them now. So we kept them at home just while they were lambs, while they were sort of really needed, you know, a good quality pasture. And while this has improved, it just was a bit long. But now they're older, where the hoggets have knocked it down a bit, there's some good feed for lambs in there. So there's their brothers. So they've both gone on to pretty good paddocks, and you might be sort of thinking, you know, merinos, I was just talking about how they don't eat much at all, so why are you putting them on good quality feed? Well, I mean, you got to remember they are still lambs, so they're still in the thick of growing. They're only they're sort of September born, so what's that, like 7 or 8 months old, and so they still need a really good source of nutrition because they're trying to grow and put on weight at the same time. So yeah, that's why they've been put on improved country and not when they get older, they'll, like their mothers are on sort of natural or reasonably natural country. You know, still had a bit of super on it, but you know, natural grasses, and it's a lot easier to keep them, to maintain them. But yeah, when they're lambs like that, you just still need to give them good source of nutrition. It's just trying to grow any lambs on unimproved country without supplementary feeding or anything. It just doesn't work. So that's why they've gone onto better quality stuff until they grow out a bit. But the Merino wethers will get sold eventually, or we might take the tops out of them and keep them for a bit of wool. But other than that, they'll be sold anyway. What are you doing? Hey, come on. Come on. Alrighty. So there was just a couple of second cross lambs in there with the Merinos. So I'm just going to load them up and take them back down and put them on probably the canola with the other ones. Come on, you mad little buggers. Come on. Hey, well, that one's a first cross, but the other three are second cross. Hey, come on. Hey. Little rogues. So I'll go out and have a look at this canola, what it's doing. See if they're actually eating it yet. Yeah, it's not a good sign. Those cabbage butterflies or cabbage moths, they're gonna destroy this canola. Yeah, they did last year to the paddock next door. So it's not a great sign. We might have to put some, you can see I'm sure those little holes in the leaves would be from them. So we might have to think about putting some more lambs on here. You might be able to pick it up, but you can see there's not a hell of a lot of them. There's not a heap of them, but there's enough that there will be a heap soon. The only really way to, well, for us to justify is just to graze it off, really. I think you might be able to spray something, but number one, it's expensive, and two, the less chemicals you can use, the better. And it'd mean having to take the sheep off it. So yeah, it looks like I don't know, they probably are hanging up the top there a bit. Well, we might have to go for a drive. I'd say they're eating the stuff up there and they're working their way down, but it doesn't appear like they're eating too much down here yet. I think there's about 210 lambs on here on 13 odd hectares, so you'd reckon they'd be making a bit of a dent in it. But it comes back to saying what I was saying in the last video, a couple of videos ago, this stuff's probably not as palatable to the lambs as the Peloton is. Yeah, it's a bit of a guessing game whether they're going to take to it straight away or not. Probably depends on how much other grass is in the paddock, because they'll eat that probably before they eat the canola. So yeah, it sort of looks like they're hanging up the top here. They're starting to eat up the top here. They have only been on here for a week or so, so they're probably just getting a taste for it. But I'll have a chat to Dad, and we might have to either think about putting some more on here or electric fencing half the paddock or a quarter of the paddock off and try to sort of half strip graze it, because yeah, these moths will bugger that crop. And unfortunately, we're not trying to fatten butterflies, we're trying to fatten lambs. Right, yeah, next on the list, I'm going to move these camels into a new paddock. I'm sure they'll be happy about that. They've been in here for a while now, so I'm just going to move them next door there. What do you dogs reckon? Your camel musterers or what? Oh, they're funny creatures, aren't they? Come on! I know what that means. As soon as I open this gate, that light colour one will come, I'm sure. Come on! Come on! Hey, here you go. A few people have been asking about the camels, they're going well. What are you doing? Hey? No, that's the tree lot. Oh, there you go. Come on, you. What are you doing? Is that good, is it? You can see where they've been reaching over from that paddock by the look of it. Only just thought of that. Obviously not good enough grass in there for them. There you go. So this paddock I'm saving, probably the single lamb of Dorset ewes will probably come in here when they get there. So they're due for their sort of 6-week pre-lamb drench and multi him in and 6-in-1 this week. So yeah, that paddock's been spelled for a fair while now. Hey mates, what are you doing? Just come down to check some cows and calves. These are my girlfriend's cows. She's AO item or beginning of last month, I think it was. These calves are due to be weaned anytime, but they're meant to be preg tested next couple of weeks, so I'll probably do it then. Just making sure they got plenty of feed down here. And I did actually get a bit of footage the other day. I moved the bulls from down here, so I'll probably play that now because I've never really filmed a lot of cattle work, so I thought I'd better do it the other day. So I might chuck that in here somewhere. I'm just going to fix this. The cattle have been licking on this. The bulls were pushing on this gate ages ago and they bent it. I straightened it out a bit the other day, but I didn't have any wire to fix this, and I only used soft wire last time, so got some high tensile stuff that I'll fix this with. But I think that'll well and truly conclude this video, but I hope you enjoyed it. Another day done. Pearler of a day. I think it's meant to be pretty good this week. What are we, the 15th of April or something like that? You know, looks like we're sort of 19 to 20 degrees all week, so which is good. There'll still be plenty of grass growth happening, which at this time of year we'll take what we can get, because the first frost isn't far away. Generally around that Anzac Day, so 25th of April, that's generally the first frost. But anyway guys, hope you enjoyed that, and with that we'll catch you in the next one. Alrighty, see ya, bye. It's all feeling good.